Welcome to the OracleTechTalks podcast, where it's all about working on Oracle technologies. You will hear the latest Oracle tech information, and your host, Kashif Manzoor, brings together product overviews, how-tos, best practices, tips and tricks, and troubleshooting techniques.
Hi everyone. Today we have our session number 14 of the OracleTechTalks.tv, and we have very good guest speaker with us. His name is Oliver Piaka, and he is Oracle ACE Associate. And the rest of introduction, I would like to request him to introduce to our Oracle Tech Talks community.
Hi, my name is Oliver Piker. I'm living in Germany. I'm an Oracle freelancer since 20 years ago. I started my Oracle contact at 1995, yes, on Oracle 7. And I beginning with programming, very deep PLS SQL procedures and programming telecom cards here in Germany for a big motor company. And on the year of 1998, I'm starting with administration. And that's totally changed my life because the programming was very fun and make something easier. But with the beginning of 1998, I'm beginning to starting fire shooting Oracle databases. I have also been in projects, a lot of projects. You can see it on my homepage with migration stuff. Very deep migration stuff with code page changes in the beginning of 2000 and 2004. And also I have on the Airbus project for advanced replication with on synchronized replication and also an asynchronized replication. That was a very interesting project because also we're using SharePlex for an asynchronization replication also. Yeah, and then I go on and starting also with RUG and DataGuard. And yeah, that's the technical things. And for my person, I'm a family with two children. I'm active in the German Oracle user group called DOAG, Deutsche Oracle Anwendergruppe. I'm there the second part of the database community, and also I'm the representative of my town here in Würzburg, that is in Bavarian. And yeah, that's...
Okay, I believe you got Oracle ACE Associate last month. So how you feel after getting recognized from Oracle ACE program?
Yeah, I'm since 2 or 3 years, or I don't know, I remember exactly, I'm starting with the idea to become an ACE because it's for me, I'm doing very well things to get others popular with Oracle, and I like the company, I like the product. The product gives me a good life because I'm living here for a freelancer and earn my money of this product, and therefore I'm also active here in the German user group DOAG, and I ask somebody if he probably he can think about it, that he can recommend it me, and I don't think about because it's so a long time ago that yes, you said 1 month ago I get the email that you are Oracle ACE Associated, but I think I will get working soon that I get it 1 year or later I get a normal ACE. But for me now as an ACE Associated is also fine because that I can show that I will go on with this program and have fun with podcasts like this and do something more like before to getting cry out Oracle technique and other things and making events and so on.
Yeah, and ultimately it's a sharing of knowledge with other community, and the Oracle ACE gives also this option or privileges that you will be part of that club and you will also start sharing knowledge with other fellows. Really appreciate. Thank you very much. Now, can you take us today's tech talk that's on Oracle Database Appliance? So I will request you if you can run through with your topic of the day. what is your tech talk for our audience?
Yes, I have not a big tech pod, but I want to bring something in here with Oracle from my actual project. I'm working with an Oracle Database Appliance, the new X5 box. It's very new, and probably I can give some overview about technique, what other can be expected if they have the chance to come keep in touch with this machine.
Sure. Yeah, you can continue, please.
Okay. Yeah. An Oracle database machine is a very fine combination of storage and processors and database in one box. It's like a bit like an Exadata, but it's only a small Exadata for the, you call it in Germany, Mittelstand, or for some medium companies. They have not their own SAN storage and their own, not a special department for network, special department for storage and so. And that is really a great thing in this box is you got all in one box. Your Oracle bring this to your server farm or to your office, and then you have to only bring the box unplug to power, and then the box starting with a self program, and some, I think in the most I hear in EMEA, one day is also an Oracle expert on your side and figure out what is your most important thing, what you want to do with this box. The box is always the same. It's a 2-node box. You can have the box always full-sized with processors and storages. You have a choice between the storages of normal hard disk or flash drives on SSD drives. And yes, it depends on the price and your configuration, but sure, always you have flash devices and SSD devices. And for what is now is new for the administrator. The administrator in a normal project, you know it outside, there you have probably the Oracle account on Linux or on Unix, and in some projects I'm working, you have not root. Root is not for the Oracle DBA. If you need some more storage, or if you have network traffic, something new IP addresses, you asking the root team that you bring in the new features what you need, and that is totally changing if you are working on a ODA. Probably you remember if the technology is starting with rack, there's also a lot of things what you have to do under root or with another user like the grid user. And if you have an ODA, you have to be all accounts in one. Yes, so much things only working under root. You will see later what strange things can only be done by root that you normally say, why it's an Oracle stuff, why I need the root account. Okay, and that is what is changing on Oracle Database Appliance, that is all in a box and all is administrated by one person normally. Yes, and you not have a network part and a storage part. And if you're beginning now with to bring up the box online, you have also have to patch hold the box together. What I mean with this is not you're not patching your database, you're not patching RSM or the operating system, you get bundles directly for ODA. And with this you get to patch hold the box, yeah, or the binaries. Sure, you can, if you have a running production system, you have not to patch the database in time, but what you download from Oracle for patching is a bundle, and with this bundle is everything inside for the database, for the grid environment, for the cluster environment, because you have the opportunity that you can bring on a box a single enterprise edition, and RAC 1 node or a RAC 2 node, because you have every order have 2 nodes, and then you can bring it from one to one node with a data card. And with these bundles, you have patching. It's very easy because you have not to test if this patch of Linux working with this patch of Oracle, and probably some network things it's not working anymore. That, I think, that's a big advantage if you're working on an appliance, because that's making things easier if you have the whole power in one person who working on this. Okay, and when you're starting, when we go on, what's different? If you want to create a database, you need an Oracle home, and normally you get the software, install it on the Linux or on the Unix, or sure on Windows, but Windows is out of my part here, and on Linux. And this is different on ODA, because the Oracle software is part of the environment, and therefore you have only if you download the normal stuff in the beginning, you have the 12.1.0.2.3 12.1.0.2.3. I'll read it here. That's the last patch bundle for the 12 database. Sure, you can also bring 11 version databases on it. For this, you have to download the 11 environment for ODA. Then you bring it to your ODA, and then you can create Oracle DB homes. And this is a special command that's working on ODA. It's called Oracle. O for an auto, AKLCE. And with this tool, it's very different, because sometimes you have to use this under root, sometimes you use it under grid, and sometimes you use it on the normal Oracle Oracle user. And this is when we start, then you create an Oracle a new DB home, and this will be done on the Oracle user, and you only type sorry, my fault. Back. If you want to know what Oracle homes are actually in the database and the ODA, you can do this command, Oracle show DB homes, and you can perform this under user like you want, and then it shows the version, what kind of homes are still in the box. And if you want to make a new one, because it's the first time you use it, in my project we need an 11.204.6 environment because we want to make a migration from the data guard to this box. And to create a new DB home, you run this under the root user. Like the command is Oracle create DB home -version 11.204.6, and with this very short command, all things what you need in a new home will done by the ODA. You have also put in the root password, the grid password, and the sysRSM password, but it takes 5 until to 10 minutes, and then you have a new home where you can store the new database. Okay, if you have the home, then you can go on with to create a new database. This can also be done funny under the root, because everything I told is created is performed under the root user. Yeah. That is because the ODA works for one, I'd say for one man, for one person, and everyone is initiated by the root user. And for this, you can also type the Oracle create database, and then you can give a new home that you do it in the beginning. If you skip this, then the database creating a new home, because the philosophy of an ODA is that every database gets its own home. But before you do this, you have also think about storing the things, the data, because with starting of ODA X5 and the version of the ODA 12 question marks, I don't know exactly, the only supported store for data files is the ACFS, the file system, the cluster file system in RSM. And that is totally new, because if you remember, we started bringing all our databases to RSM before we got row devices, and before that we have normal flat files in the data system. And beginning of the ODA, the only supported store is the ACFS file system. That's totally new. We can't believe it from 2 months ago, and we make an support request for this, and now we get a support note, and probably we can bring a link with the white paper that from the ODA you have to use ACFS, the data stores. And that's a thing we know a little bit from the 11 version, that you can bring also RSM storage to your file system with a mount point, and you can use it for normal files. But in this case, you build data stores. And these data stores can be on flash device or on normal device. And then you have a mount point in your normal Linux to this data store. But if that's also a funny thing, if you have to browse in the directory for the files, then you don't see you see files, normal files, yeah, but you don't see database files later, because the database files are in some hidden files in .acfs directory, and under this directory then you see like the Oracle manages file structure. I don't know, in the moment I'm working with this 2 months, if it's making things easier or making things difficult. But I repeat, the philosophy of an Oracle Database Appliance is to keep it simple and keep it all for all users the same. And therefore I'm thinking Oracle use now the ACFS for the data store. And if you're starting with the data store, then that is all make something easier, because you all create your data store also with Oracle command, and you have different data stores, and then you can different data stores for flash disk or for normal disk. Sure, also the reados and the control file are stored in data stores. The whole database files, it's not so a lot. It's stored in the data store. Sure, a good advantage is you have flash disks, flash devices. I mean, in this case, SSD devices. Therefore, it's a good thing that you bring your redo and a part of the control files to this one, to the flash drive. But it's probably sounds a little bit difficult. But if they create the database is doing all by the ODA. If they only create database, giving the data store and your home, and then it's running. And then he create a database, and then you can start working on this database. Sure, there's also a thing with config parameters. You have the opportunity to create very short configuration files, configurations also with this Oracle command, but in this it's only 5 lines. In this you can say the block size, the territory, the language, the language of the database or of the inside the alert file, and also how much cores it will be used and the size. Sure, the size, when you create a database with Oracle, it's only the value supported. If you choose the memory size, you can increase it or decrease it later with normal commands in SQL+. Yeah, that's a different. And also we're running in some serious things because in the project by my customer is the backup is now totally different because the recovery area is also in ACFS, and if you want to back up this, you have to bring it that the file system see it if you're using a totally different backup system. Sure, if you use Ermin, you have not a problem because Ermin always know where your files are located. Yeah, that's for the order. And also what is, I told you before, in this project we migrated from Solaris x86 to Linux, and with this we're making the migration very, keep it simple. We bring up a data guard between the old Solaris environment and the new ODA. For this, things is totally a little bit different because if you create a database, if you make a data guard, you're not creating a database on the destination box. You only have an auxiliary database. You know it from the Ermin duplicate, and that is also the reason have to look on the ODA a little bit different, because you have to see that you have a data store. You can use the same data store for different databases. You do not have to build up your own data store for every database. But you have also you remember on the earlies, you have to create some directories on the ODA because the duplicate command not generate automatically some directories. That's not in my tests. On my proposal things, it was only 4 lines to create mkdir for ADUMP, for the control files, and for the Ora data itself. And then you have the chance that you make it with a normal, with all the listener stuff and DGML stuff with the data guard. I don't want to repeat here this. Then you can make with an Ermin duplicate from Active Database SP file to the new data, to the new ODA. Sure, you bring the new control file inside, and the DB create file destination will be the new data store, and the DB recovery file destination will be the flash recovery on the ODA side. Yeah, and if you bring the database in sync and have, you can use, in this we use sure data guard broker, but after all, if the database in sync and you make the cut over, and now you have running the database in the environment of the ODA, then you are lucky, or you have to you should do register the new database in the ODA environment, because you remember I say every database in the ODA is running in the grid environment, and therefore I strongly recommended that before the cutover you can have time to restart the database sometimes on the ODA system. If it's in sync with the old environment, you have to and the database is running and all is there, then you have to make an server control add database that the cluster is knowing for the new database. It's like the same on the white paper with rack to rack. And in the cutover, We only use the normal things. We starting flashback, creating a restore point, and then we shut down the database, making either database active standby database, and yeah, and then we are fine. But if you're sure, we have to modify the database in the cluster control. We're making a server control, modify database. With the startup parameter open, because before it was a data guard environment. There we bring also in the mount state. Yeah, and we are in this project we also doing PSU upgrade, because the old database was also 11.204 database, but not with the same PSU, like the ODA is the lowest thing, and therefore we starting directly after the cut over with the PSU stuff, with the pre-stuff, with the cut bundle, PSU apply, and UTL, SPHL. And then we have the new database on the ODA is running, and that will be fine. Yeah. What can we do? Also with the ODA, the ODA have only capacity of disk, and if you're running out of disk, then you are out of disk, because you have not the chance to bring some SAN disk or some other disk to the box. The box only is on inside. Sure, you can add on more disk with disk storage, but normally the ODA have enough storage to working with this, and you have to think about how much growing your database will be on the box. Yeah, sure, you can, all this, at this time the database is the same like a normal database. You can add an agent for cloud control, and can go on with this. Yeah. Yes, my overview for the ODA is, or my proposal for the ODA is, take your time, look at some of the on the manual for the ODA. There's also a lot of fine white papers. A little bit strange is if you are working like me here in two environments, if you're using the 11 environment, you have a totally different, you have the old structure of server control. The old server structure, I mean, you have for the command server control, you have only dash and then one letter for O for Oracle Home or something like this. And if you switch to the other environment on the ODA for the 12 environment, then the server control is totally changing, because then for the parameters by this command, you have not only after the dash one letter, you have a full word like node name or Oracle Home or something like this. But I think that is with everything is a practice, and you have to see what will be fine for you. I think the Oracle Database Appliance is a really good thing, because it's only one box. It's always inside. You have the chance to use a RAC edition, and you can make something like a little bit with higher availability, because sure, the ODA have two power supply. They have two nodes, and the two nodes are autark with all the stuff with memory and so on. And if you have trouble with one node, the other node can take over. That is also the remarkable thing here. If you create a database, you want to use it on the second node, because you want to use some databases on the first node, and you want to add someone on the second node, then the command line will tell you, oh, you want to create a database. Create of the database always started on the first node. And that's the background of this is that every database and every DB home every data store is created on both nodes. Therefore, you can also, if you have not a RAC license or not, if you not have a data card environment, if you have a problem with one node by hardware, then you can directly start the database on the second node. And that's, I think, is a good thing for smaller companies and companies. They only need, I need a database or I need a little environment of Oracle, but I have not the expert team for database administration and always keep in touch with this. And that's it's only one box, and therefore I think the Oracle Database Appliance is a good product. Yes, it's a way from Oracle to bring also hardware in the field, but it's totally different from an Exadata. But you can learn some command that's also on the Exadata is here on the Oracle Database Appliance. Yeah. I feel great in this project because I have the chance to keep in touch with this technology, and for me, for a freelancer consultant, it's also a good chance to have the opportunity to take new technology in a project. Yes, because I'll say it in the beginning, the X5 box is very new, and it's also very new for Oracle, and therefore something changed a little bit between the X4 machine. Some behaviors are different. I got also a mentor in this team, and he have experience on the X4, and he say, "Hey, what's going on here? It's not a bug, but the behavior is totally different in the X5 and then X4." But it started good. The customer take the time, and he will move all the databases back from Solaris to 10 older machines here in Germany. And yeah, probably if the project will be a good project, probably I can bring some announcement on some conference for this later on. Yeah, that was from my part for an overview of the Oracle Database Appliance.
Great, Oliver. Basically, you're right, because I also had a chance to work on X4 machine as a part of Oracle eBusiness Suite with the pre-bundled templates for eBusiness Suite 12.2.4. And initially, it took us time to understand, but that was a great box that give to customer, and then customer can use it. That's really appreciated. And you have covered all the steps, I think, really informative and knowledgeable for OracleTechTalks audience. Thank you for that. Now, for someone new to Oracle community, how they get most of it?
I think sure, the people say that Oracle only want to sell not software, they want to sell hardware anymore and bring their own hardware and making everything that work together. But I have in mind, I'm saying in the beginning, I've experienced over 20 years with different customers, and I think the easy thing is here that if you're running an order, you get it one box in your office, in your server farm, and then you have a consultant on site. He configure the thing, and then the consultant can leave, because then you say you can connect with an application to the box, and the box working alone for a long time. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Sure, you can have IDO boards, and you can make a remote diagnostic things, but for not for the big player companies. Yeah, this is a small box with disks, and the disks are special in the order. And you have, if you want to make open support request, you can say, yes, I am lucky, I have an order, and that now it's your turn, because everything in this box is Oracle stuff, from the RAM, from the everything in the box. You have to, the turn is to make that Oracle do it. Yes, we have some DIMMs of RAM. We have problem with this. Yeah, no, it's not a problem. We make an open service request, and then 1 week later we get a parcel package with some DIMMs, and sure, the techniker can bring it direct to the order, or if you're not thinking, you can put it in by
All right.
yourself,
No.
also Oracle sends you a technician. And this is what I think that will be the thing for the box. And also the list price is also fine, but sure, you have to remember that you also need the Oracle licenses for the for running the order. Therefore, I'm saying yes, it's designed for making two-node rack, but if you really need for your business a rack license, it depends on the business.
All right. Well, thank you for another brief point. Now, coming to our last question of today's Tech Talk. Now, if a new person or someone new to the Oracle community, how you would suggest them that they can get most of it from the community, or how they can start their career or journey within the community to learn Oracle?
Oh, I'm too old for for this question because in my beginning you're learning by doing. I think if you have the chance, I starting as an employee. I'm working 3 years as an employee, and then I start for a freelancer after this. I see in the 2000s I see some students directly from the college university to start with freelancer. But for me, it's not the technical part; it's the social part. For me, for freelancer, it's also important that I'm understanding the feeling of my colleagues in the project, their employees, and therefore my recommendation is also if you try to start with an employee by some company, and then if you say, oh, I want to make it as a freelancer, then you can start a freelancer. But sorry, you're asking for the technical thing, and the technical thing to keep in the community. Yeah, and I think here in Germany it's very easy because you have the DOAG, the Deutsche Oracle Anwender Group. I think it's also, we are living in the online world. Yes, we're making here an online podcast. I'm sitting in Würzburg, you are sitting, I don't know where you're sitting, and our listeners will hold the world. But Dubai. but I'm thinking it's also very important to make offline conferences, offline events. Because then you can keep in touch with the community. You can ask somebody more than as in podcast. But now the technical thing, and I say it also here in my older overview, the documentation. I don't know. Some listener will use Oracle since 10 or 20 years. We remember the time where we say what we need an Oracle documentation, or I remember the time where the documentation is printed out in books, yes, with bring it with the CDs, directly the documentation. If you're really interested in some topics of technology, like now I'm saying ODA or pluggable databases in 12c, the Oracle online documentation are very helpful. And if you see it if you take your time to read it, then you see that it's totally informatic, that is totally step by step to understand the technique and the background for the technology. If you have the chance to have a support account, a MOS account on Oracle support, you find there are a lot of white papers. Especially for this, what I say, data guard from to an ODA. That is also a special white paper. And that is also nice to read because you know that when you read it, it's not someone who say, oh, I'm writing a paper. It's the white papers from Oracle reading like, I know what I'm writing because I'm write it by my own and I do it by my own, also technical. And yet if you read the white paper, you can see it. But in the end of all, sure, take the chance for webcasts. From the special communities in your country, or show the webcast from Oracle by itself. And the last thing is, I started with this. I have an OTN account since 2007, but I beginning more and more to keep in touch there because I see if I have a question to the community, and it's not so important that I can open an Oracle support request for is this feature supported or so. For this, I'm making open an Oracle service request. But last time I have a question to the community: how do you do this with your database, or is there an alternative to use this Oracle technique on there? Then I put it in Oracle Technology Network, and I'm very astonished how good answers you're getting there. And that's my last advantage for keep in touch with Oracle Technology.
All right, thank you, Oliver. Thank you very much for today's session, and you guys can reach to Oliver on www.pyaka.de. I will repeat it, pyka.de. That's his website, and you can reach and you can read about all about Pyaka. Thank you, Oliver.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Have a good time, and we'll keep in touch in future to share knowledge and working environment with each other.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the OTechTalks podcast, and be part of Tech Talks at OTechTalks.tv. It's a turf to share ideas, insights, and innovations.